Hi, welcome to Awakening Soul Truth. I'm Robbie. This is Allison. We're both Reiki masters, meditation teachers, and healers. And we're going to talk about the upcoming eclipse.
Oh, I like the mention of healers. At the end of the day, we're healers. So, wow, there's a lot of predictions happening. Psychics predictions, eclipse predictions, so many.
Yeah, and let's just go ahead and say we're in the middle of the eclipse season. We had the lunar eclipse last week. We've got the solar eclipse coming up this next week. And eclipses happen literally like every 6 months. There's at least 2 eclipse seasons every year. So it's fascinating that so many people are becoming more interested in talking about this particular one. And I do get it because it is a North American eclipse.
It's so intense, people's vigor for exploiting a naturally occurring event and making it look like the end of times. I have seen horrific reports on YouTube declaring that this is the rise of the dark energy. There are a few concerning things happening, like the National Guard has been deployed, probably to the smaller towns because they don't have the infrastructure to handle all the visitors. There have been a few states that have already declared a state of emergency. The NASA program is actually launching 3 rockets into the air. So these 3 rockets are actually named Apep after the serpent god of darkness and chaos from Egypt. They're going to launch these rockets 45 minutes before the eclipse, one at the eclipse time, and 45 minutes after. CERN, which is in Geneva, it is the largest particle collider machine. There's a lot of parallels between this solar eclipse and the eclipse that happened in 1811. There's a comet going above our eclipse. We might even be able to see its tail. So, chaos, drama, all the buttons are being pushed. Now, there is a flip side always to what some people want to exploit and turn into a period of fear. The other side of this is a time of great awakening. This is a portal. It is a point in time where clarity can come about your own soul's progression in life, an integration of your soul. It's where the veil is really, really thin.
But eclipses have been known over time to bring in change, to be change makers, to bring sudden endings, to bring shocking revelations, to be portals of new beginnings. And really an eclipse is trying to get us back on track. And so if you look at kind of the philosophy or ideas behind eclipses, it's to wake us up to get us back on the path of our soul's purpose.
Absolutely.
Is really what it's all about. So last week, the lunar eclipse with the full moon, that was in Libra. And the one coming up with the solar eclipse and the new moon is in Aries.
On April 8th.
Which is the onstart. Aries is technically the beginning of the zodiac signs.
So we have a huge ending and huge beginning. Eclipse energy is an extended period of time, not just the 3 minutes of the blackout from the sun.
Exactly. Let's make that clear. It's not exactly when the eclipse is happening. The energy starts coming in at least a month prior and then continues for months later. So.
But I believe this is choice time. Choose love. Choose love. Fiercely. No matter what happens. No matter what playbook gets thrown out there. No matter, don't go into the fear. If we do have a blackout, if all the electricity and power goes out, don't go into the fear. Sit down and meditate. And I I would say hard. You don't have anything else to do.
Exactly. And we want to go ahead and start by saying we want an alliance to be formed for Monday,
Yes.
April 8th, that we sit and meditate. If all of us who are wanting to choose the light and love, if all of us pull together and harness this energy and make it applicable towards the light and love that we're trying to go towards,
Yes.
then we're going to thwart any of the fear or any of those types of narratives.
Yeah, one of those narratives is this blasting off of CERN, that's CERN, and the potential of making a new wormhole, making a new portal of time. And there's actually real concern about that.
I think there is real concern about that, but I'm personally not concerned.
Right.
And I don't really even want to throw that information out there, only because I still believe wholeheartedly the light has already won.
Yes.
And if the light has already won, then we shouldn't have to worry about it.
Unless they were doubling back because they know that the light already won and then went through the time-space portal to do this.
Right. Well, that's probably what they're doing.
And that's why we have to double down in prayer.
And that's why we're forming an alliance to meditate on Monday.
So what do we agree what times we wanted to start?
Well, I would say, I would personally say, let's do it between like 1 and 3.
Okay. Yeah, because the height is at 2 here in Nashville. So we're talking Central Time.
Yes.
Between 1 and 3 Central Time.
And wherever you are in the world, like maybe an hour before the eclipse actually occurs.
Where you are.
To an hour after.
Right. So there's actually maps and time. There is a time of the eclipse going across the United States. And so make this a moment where you can actually meditate for an hour ahead of time and an hour after.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of meditation. And we thank you tremendously. I think humanity will thank you because some of us, people are kind of losing it. I think.
Yeah.
And, losing it. And so many people are dying.
And so many people are having health issues.
Yeah. Yeah. We're really being confronted with the light vibration being able to be held in the physical body. That is the shift that is really happening we're not going to abandon third dimensional reality. We are switching our awareness and our point of focus from external to internal. And as we do that, we collectively start to remember. Our hope is that we all start to remember at once, that we remember the love, we remember the light. And that is the scenario where we don't have chaos. We don't have the eruption of pain and war and conquering. We literally remember our connection to love first.
And I'm smiling for 2 different reasons. One, I'm doing an eclipse retreat this weekend. And usually with the new moon, you set all these great new intentions about how you want to work with the moon cycle. But because of the eclipse energy, this is not a time to charge your crystals. The energy is too chaotic. And so one of the things that I had just mentioned to you, since you were talking about awakening and remembering, this has been kind of my thing since India. It's like, I want to awaken and remember. So I'm going to be creating a collective intention for the people coming on my retreat instead of creating personal intentions.
Yes.
Even though, yes, it is a personal intention, but it's also a collective intention of the awakening and remembering aspect. So the lunar eclipse, there was a emphasis on the South Node, which is trying to move us out of things that are taking us away from our destiny back in that way. So it represents, or at least somebody was saying it represents the dragon's tail. And what I found fascinating about that, being a part of the dragon's tail, is that particular eclipse that we just had, moving us into this present eclipse we're currently going through, is it's supposed to awaken the sleeping dragon within. And this is also the year of the dragon, according to Chinese zodiac or Chinese astrology. And it's awakening what has been dormant inside.
Yeah, the
So that's
dragon's
the
not...
awakening and remembering piece too.
Right? We all should recognize that we have a shadow side, that maybe this is a very clear macro view of the truth, that we have a shadow side. And that shadow side is going to and needs to be illuminated to be healed. And if we are in this period of great awakening, there's nothing better than illuminating and healing your shadow side. So we are really having a lot of symbolism of awakening from every culture and every space. Like the Mayan calendar, the end of the 26,000 year period, did that happen in 212? A lot of people say that it's happening now. Like, that's another option.
Yeah, and the yogis talk about the Kali Yuga yoga period being kind of the dark ages, and 2024 is supposed to be kind of the switch over into the beginnings of the golden era.
Yeah.
Which we talked about fully on another episode. If you want to go back and look in the video catalog.
A lot of people are predicting that we will have blackouts, like all the electricity grid will go down, and then there's a whole argument, well, who's doing that? Are beings, highly evolved beings doing that? Is the government doing that? Is there another dark force doing that? So that's why I wanted to put out this video to say, if there is this place of physical switching, playing, manipulation, like, don't go into the fear. Go into the light as hard as you can, into your heart, into truth, and work that truth. Like, let your fear heal. Trust with all of your being, the divine that carries you and is with you and is part of you right here and now.
Yeah, I mean, if it does go out, just think of it as unplugging in order to plug back into yourself.
Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plug back into your own heart. There will be silence. With all solar eclipse, there's this period where the birds stop chirping and the bugs stop and nobody's on the roads, and it's silence. We have an opportunity. We have a window to choose the rebirthing of the sun. We have an opportunity to step into a rebirthing energy. Wow. So we are inviting you to heal and not to buy into any of the big stories and internet stuff. Although we're asking you to buy into our version on the internet. So there's that. Yes. We're asking for use your heart for discernment.
Yes.
Use love as your tool for discernment. Don't be confused. When you step into love, confusion stops. I think every healing session I have, every single one, every practice of the light, like when you step into yoga, when you do your gardening, whatever you do to get centered, the confusion stops. The energy's really, really strong and variant right now. So anchor into the now moment and feel love and end the chaos. And the chaos in your mind and your heart. Stop looking for answers outside of yourself. Should we meditate?
Sure.
All right. Do you want to?
Let's go ahead and align our spine. And even putting our attention to our posture is aligning our mind to the spine. Doing so can bring us into the present moment. And then follow your exhalations all the way down into your seat. When you get a little heavier in your seat, continue to hone in on your breath. Deepening and lengthening both your inhale and your exhale.
And as you continue with your breath lengthening and softening your entire body, and just affirming that I am loved and safe, and I choose the divine mind. I am loved. I am safe, and I am choosing the divine path of love. I am loved by the divine. I am safe, and I am choosing the divine's love as my source of value and place of stability. I am choosing love. And just exhaling and releasing any chaos or old patterns that fail to produce love. I am breathing in to the stability of the now moment where I connect to love. The belief is feeling and connecting to your version of love. The action is to feel and connect to your version of love. Your version, your truth about love is all you need. Actually, I'm going to rephrase that. Your version and connection to the divinity inside of your own heart, the love deep inside of your heart, the love that has been present inside of you for eternity and infinity. This place of love is our hope, our stability, our place of creation. I breathe into the deepest portion. I breathe into the deepest part of love inside of me. I am anchored in divine love. I choose peace and serenity. And so it is.